Victoria's Premier Daniel Andrews has apologised after an IBAC and Ombudsman inquiry found extensive misconduct by Labor MPs. The report took aim at former Minister Adam Somyurek, but he claims he's exonerated, with no criminal charges to be laid due to weak laws.
2 years, 2 integrity chiefs and 21 findings of how branch stacking should stop influencing Victorian politics.
I would have thought it's time for Parliament to get its house in order.
Trust in our politicians is declining and will decline further if real action is not taken.
Immediately, the Premier sought to do just that.
What the report tabled today shows is absolutely disgraceful behaviour. As leader of the Parliamentary Labor Party and the Premier of our state, I take full responsibility and I apologise for it.
The report found unethical and inappropriate behaviour, particularly taking aim at 2 MPs, current Labor MP and former Gaming Minister Marlene Kairouz and the mastermind of the branch stacking scheme, Adam Somyurek. However, IBAC and the Ombudsman considered whether the identified misconduct constituted criminal offending, but the difficulties in proof meant they couldn't recommend criminal charges.
We can't recommend to the Director of Public Prosecutions that a trial should take place.
The report found in the faction's misuse of public resources, Mr Somyurek led from the front. His electorate office was fully staffed but provided little or no service to his constituents.
No. Let's be clear about this. Let's be very clear about this. This has given me the clean bill of health, right? As for that $15 million dirt sheet, that's not worth the paper it's written on.
And in an interview with Sky News, Mr Somyurek doubled down on his denials. Don't you accept those findings?
No, I don't. I don't accept anything the Ombudsman says.
The conduct here is egregious. I mean, there's no shadow of a doubt, and I would not describe this report as an exoneration.
The report confirmed Daniel Andrews was quizzed in secret by the Anti-Corruption Commission. He admitted he knew about branch stacking and in the IBAC report admits his early knowledge of the controversial red shirt scheme.
Daniel Andrews is a liar. He knew. He's admitted under oath he knew. And that is at direct contrast to his earlier conversations.
But Daniel Andrews says he didn't know the full extent of the branch stacking allegations until the 60 Minutes expose.
I'm accepting of the broader point, and if we could all go back in time, maybe you do things differently, but I can't accept the notion. There are kind of 2 issues here, right? There are issues within the party, and as soon as we became aware of those, we have taken steps.
The revelations prompted pre-selections in Victorian Labor to be suspended. Now senior figures want those rights restored.
And now that we've got this report, it's probably time for the real members of the Labor Party, and there are many thousands of them who work very hard, to have a real say in what happens. When you have unaccountable power, then you lead to abuses of power.
What happens now is ultimately up to Victoria's MPs. Daniel Andrews has announced these reforms in the hope that some can be installed prior to the election. But the truth is that much of it won't be in place until 2024, 2 years after the November 26 poll. The recommendations include banning family members from being employed as MPs staffers, and a new Parliament Ethics Committee could recommend sanctions. It could be set up in the next sitting week, but beyond. Would you commit to remaining Premier if you're elected in November again to see all of this through?
Easy days and hard days. Doesn't really matter. You've got to get on and get the job done.
Ultimately, in a few short months, Victorian voters will decide if he'll be allowed to get that job done. Simon Love, Sky News, Melbourne.